joining us.
Should have been here last time. Hey, thanks for having me.
Go ahead with questions for CJ, guys. Raise your hand for questions. Noah, go ahead.
Hey CJ, what's it like, especially in the second half when you can just hand the ball to Hollywood and let him do a lot of the work?
Yeah, it was great to see Hollywood get in the mix and do a lot for this team. Hollywood been a guy that's been grinding hard all camp, and he's showed this game and last game. He's one of our important players on offense, and we need him for the rest of the year.
And just to follow up, what was the biggest difference you think today in run blocking and be able to open up holes for him to get through?
Yeah, we just knew we had to get physical, and our O-line created lanes and holes for Hollywood Smulders. So I just credit the O-line for everything: pass protection, run blocking. They did it. They did it all. I congratulate them boys. Salute to them boys. They did an awesome job with blocking protection.
Jaden, go ahead.
Yeah, CJ, this is, I think, your ninth career game with at least 200 yards passing. But you looked so much more confident than maybe in some of your games last year. Just how do you feel after game two of this season, and where do you think this offense can really go?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Of course, we got a lot of things to work on, but we've seen a lot of plays, a lot of explosive plays in these last 2 weeks, and it's gonna get better throughout the year. And I'm very excited to see it. I'm gonna keep spreading the ball around to everybody I could. Finding the open guys, and we gonna get the run game going more. So it's just gonna be great the whole year. And I feel comfortable and confident. Going into each game. Like since last year, I've been building on my confidence and being more poised every game. So it's just been good for me.
Charlie, go ahead.
Hey CJ, you went to the locker room down 10 at halftime. Talk about some of the adjustments that were made in the second half and kind of what was said in the locker room.
Really, it was just our leaders coming together, our captains coming in and leading the locker room. That's what it was the really big thing. We was playing good football. We just need to be better. Be more aggressive and be more smart. With everything. So we just was drilling into their head like we got to keep playing. Like it's never over. It's 4 quarters of football, and it showed in the game.
TJ, go ahead.
Hey, CJ, great game out there today. As soon as y'all come into the second half, y'all start scoring on a whim. Can you talk about the tide and the emotion, not just with you, but the entire team, as y'all got inched closer and closer on closing that deficit?
Yeah, so this is our first time being down as a team. Last week we didn't even go down. So this was our first time. We wanted to see how we go battle through adversity. Our emotions, we was ready to go back on that field and change the trajectory of the game. Our team wanted to fight. That's what the biggest thing. We was not laying down. It was another half to go, and our team just battled back in that second half. We got stops. We scored touchdowns. We did a lot of things that we could do.
Two more questions for CJ. Rob, go ahead.
CJ, did you make a conscious effort to expand your game this season with the running? Because you've made some nice runs, but in both contests.
Yeah, just with my ability to run, it showed this game, and I think my legs is going to help me out during the season. But I really enjoy scoring points and doing whatever it takes for the team to win.
All right, Noah, go ahead with the last question for CJ.
Hey CJ, Will got it in there today. What was it like seeing him on 4th and 1, deep inside his own territory, able to get that and pick it up and kind of help take time off the clock?
Yeah, Will's a great player, man. His toughness showed today, and I'm really proud of him. We're gonna use him more. He's a really great player. He's gonna get what we can do. He's gonna do whatever he can for the team, and I just want to keep seeing him succeed.
Thanks, CJ.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Sebastian Harsh is going to join us next. If you want to go ahead and raise your hands for questions for Sebastian.
What's going on, guys?
Thanks for being here. Raise your hands for questions for Sebastian. Jaden, go ahead.
Yeah, Sebastian, this week, Coach Elliott talked about the importance of third downs and getting teams in third and long situations. But y'all kind of struggled getting off the field today. What were they doing, or what were y'all not doing? That kind of made those situations difficult.
We just got to win our one-on-ones up front. Get after the quarterback. There's no other way of saying it. Especially me, I hold a lot of that responsibility against the quarterback, and so I think just up front, we got to win our one-on-ones, help out the back end and their coverage. And so play in tandem.
Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, could you just take us through the mindset, what you guys were talking about when it became clear that there was going to be that one last drive, NC State had to punt there in the end of the game?
Yeah, so Coach Doeren talks a lot about being tough, bowing up, and you could see it looking around the guys in the huddle coming out on that last drive. It was all right, like these guys are ready to go, and so I think just playing every single play like it's your last that's probably the most important thing, and just not giving up. That's it.
Noah, go ahead.
Hey, Sebastian, what was the message at halftime? It seemed like in the first half, Virginia was converting on almost every third down. In the second half, they only held to 50%. What was the biggest message you guys trying to get off the field?
Yeah, it was just being physical. There's a lot of times, up front we were getting moved away, and so just being physical up front, especially, and then just leaning on guys, leaning on everybody else on the defense. Trust that everybody else is going to do their job. Yeah.
All right, last question for Sebastian will come from TJ.
All right, sorry about that. Sebastian, going into the second half, in the first half, Morris looked comfortable. What were the adjustments that were made that made him uncomfortable in the second half? And can you talk about the leadership on defense that seemed like it changed everything?
Say that again.
In the second half, it looked like UCLA Chandler Morris was more uncomfortable than he was in the first half. Can you talk about the changes that were made and the leadership on the defensive side that led to those notions?
Yeah, so it was just simplifying the game plan, going back to just playing a hard, tough football, being able to lean on the leaders on the defense. Sean and Caden helps out a lot. Those guys are really vocal when we're out there, and so a lot of the guys rely on them. And so having two tough guys like that on the defense, it makes it really easy to come out and get a hot start.
Sebastian, thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate y'all.
All right, guys. Head coach Dave Doeren is going to join us now. Ready when you are, Coach.
Yep. Super proud of the comeback win. Proud of the guys for their grit and their resiliency. A lot of reasons why it happened. But before I get to that, just want to thank our fans that came today. It was hot, and for you guys to sit in that sun and cheer for us the way you did means a lot to our players and our staff. So thank you for your loyalty and noon kick on top of it. I know that's not easy for a lot of you that travel into Raleigh. So thank you. And it's great to be 2-0 and another great, crazy finish. And you got to make a play. And sometimes you don't know who it's going to be. It's awesome when it's a senior. I told the guys in the locker room, I was really proud of Kean for making that. It's a key play in the game at the end. Offensively, played really well. We had 0 turnovers on offense. We only had 1 penalty as a team the entire game. And so we didn't beat ourselves that way. And we were able to be productive moving the football. We were 100% in the red zone scoring points, had explosive plays. Our run game rushing for 200 yards. I thought Hollywood was really in a good groove. The O-line and tight ends and receivers did a good job blocking. Defensively, it was a much better second half. I thought our first half was pretty bad and gave up 24 points, a lot of untouched runs, uncovered guys. We just didn't play well. And so we got things to work on. I was proud of them in the second half, only gave up 1 score. And offensively, we scored in every possession but 1. Our short yardage offense was tremendous. And the only time we didn't make it was on a pass that we threw. And, probably a play we wish we wouldn't have called, but we were physical, man, and trusted the guys, 4th and 1, 3rd and 1 to go and get it. And they did. And obviously you can see the faith that we have and will to be in there in a situation like that. So it's great to be 2-0, and we don't get much time here to celebrate. We got to play on Thursday, so we're going to put this one to bed pretty quick.
JC, go ahead.
What was it like to see the offensive line enforce its will in the second half and the journey that Yusuf has gone through to move into the starting lineup and be a part of that after walking on to the program?
Yeah, I think his story is amazing. So two-part question. Part one, it was awesome to see us run the football the way we did. I thought Coach Roper and the offensive staff made some adjustments and said, look, let's just hand the ball to number 3 and get downhill. And that first drive of the second half, that's what we did. And the offense did a great job. And being physical, tight ends, running backs, receivers, tailback making plays. But Yusuf's story is, it's one for the books. I mean, he's one of the highest recruited O-linemen in college football coming out of high school and goes to Florida and has a tragic accident, hit by a semi-truck on a scooter and drug and lost football for a while and couldn't play. Really had to go through a real intensive recovery process. And then they had a coaching change and he ends up at another school and they have a coaching change and he ends up just saying, I just want to go home, and came here and has worked really hard. And I'm proud of him. It's a great story. And he came in and gave us some really good energy today. And he blocks them, and he's a physical kid, really strong, one of our stronger O-linemen. So happy for him, proud of him. And it's a great story, not one you see a lot in college football.
Noah, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned just giving the ball to Hollywood, letting him work in the second half. What's it like for you as coach to see him, not only kind of take over just in the second half, 115 yards, just on 12 carries?
Did you say Hollywood? I couldn't hear you at the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Hollywood.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's what we hope for, I mean, he finished the season that way too. The last half of last year, you could see that he was ready. I had a great offseason, great fall camp. He brings energy, holds people accountable. He plays hard as hell. He wants the football. If you don't give it to him, he's not going to complain. He's going to block. He's going to run routes. He doesn't care. He just wants to win. And guys like that tend to make plays. Unselfish, tough guys that work hard. And he's got a lot of talent. So anytime he touches the ball, it's a potential explosive play.
Mitchell, go ahead.
Hey, Dave. With the ACC wanting y'all to play more powerful opponents and with the math not really working for you guys to go to non-conference games, do you anticipate playing more games like this, non-conference against ACC teams? And do you like them?
I love it. I mean, I'm all for playing all conference games. Like, to me, it's, we're in the ACC. Let's play each other every week and see who the best team is, but I know I'm not everybody, and everybody has their things that they like. Some of them have SEC rivalry games, and, Notre Dame screws up our scheduling because they get 5 games in our league. But I'd be all in favor of, 17 teams, and they figure out a rotation where we play each other all the time. I think nowadays, if you have a goal of being a playoff team, you got to play 10 Power 4 games. You got to have strength of schedule. And so it was a no-brainer for me to want to add Virginia, because I'd much rather play a regional team than play someone from across the country. It just doesn't make as much sense for fans, for families, and for recruiting.
Rob, go ahead.
Dave, CJ's expanded his game with the run, and it's not just scampering to avoid. You're calling run plays for him. Could you just speak to that and how much that makes it a better offense?
Yeah, I mean, when you can throw the football the way that he can and have the skill around him, but then also make them have to defend his legs, that's tough on defense. It's really hard. And then you're going to add more people in the box when you're worried about quarterback runs. It opens up the things in the air. And so when you can utilize his legs and be smart with it, because, you don't want to put more hits on him than you need to. But I thought Kurt called some really good QB runs in the game. CJ made some plays on his own. Obviously, the second touchdown run was a scramble. But having that extra element changes how you have to defend us on offense. And so it's great to see his confidence in that.
Gibby, go
One
ahead.
more. Last one.
Yeah, Dave, 2 straight games to go right down to the wire. You win both those games. What does that say about your team, and how can this help you guys down the road?
Yeah, I think it's a team that understands who NC State is. It's grit. This team has grit. It's in our DNA. And we train in chaos. We look forward to tough situations here. We've practiced a lot of this stuff that you're seeing at the end of games. And the guys always revert back to their training. And so they're tough kids. They want to win. They know how to dig deep. And we've trained them well in those situations. And so it's a combination of things along with the identity of our program. It's hard, tough together. And if you're going to be on this football team, you got to have that kind of resiliency in you. So I'm proud of the leadership guys on our team because they're demanding that from each other as well. Thank you, guys. Go Pack.
Thanks, Coach. Go ahead and raise your hands for questions for Kean Sloan. He's going to be joining us shortly.
How you guys doing?
Kean, thanks for joining us. Noah, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, what was the biggest difference between the first and second half on getting off the field on third down?
I feel like just our like mental focus. So like we kind of came out, maybe we're a little fluttered on defense, but we kind of honed it in, kind of realized the situation that we were in, and we all kind of came together in the second half. I was really proud of how we played in the second half on defense.
Just to follow up, who was kind of the most vocal leader in the locker room at halftime to kind of correct that and get off the field?
I would say Caden Ford and Sean Brown. Those guys have been our heartbeat of the defense since I first got here, and yeah, they just kept on being them, and they pull everyone up to the standard. So we really needed that when we came out flat in the first half.
Jaden, go ahead.
Yeah, after kind of those struggles in the first half, was there, for individually for you, was there like a mental aspect of like, okay, we didn't do great. I really have to make a big play?
I wouldn't say that. I feel like we all just kind of had to hone into our 111th. I mean, if we're doing our job and we're doing our job inside the scheme, like the plays are going to happen. So we just kind of had to not panic and not feel like we had to make a Superman play when if we're all doing our job, like we got a great scheme in. So yeah, it was just we kind of found that trust, and I feel like we all kind of took a deep breath in the second half.
All right, and last question will go to Rob.
Yeah, actually, I have a two-parter. One, do you remember the last time you had an interception?
It's been a while. Yeah, it's been shoot, I think it was in junior college.
Okay. All right. Just your thoughts on the defense in the second half. Is that close to what you think you guys can be? Is that near the level you hope to be?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a standard. I mean, obviously there's still stuff that we need to clean up across the board, but it's just like the leaders on defense and like the trust that we all have in each other and our coach. I feel like that really showed in the second half. And if we can play like that, I mean, we're gonna be hard to beat.
Kean, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Everyone, go ahead and raise your hands for questions for Sean Brown. Sean, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, for sure.
Noah, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Sean, Keon just said that you and Caden were the biggest leaders at halftime, trying to correct on third down when Virginia started 10 of 13. What was that conversation like, and how'd you like the response kind of from the rest of the defense, holding them to 3 of 6 in the second half?
We just knew that we weren't playing to our standard as a defense. Offense was doing their thing, going out there scoring points, doing what they're supposed to do, and just defensively we were letting them down, and we're just letting the defense know that the way we're playing right now is not. We got to cut that shit out. My fault, it's cursed, but we gotta cut that out, and play our brand of football.
Two more for Sean. Rob, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean, you guys seem to make a lot of adjustments. I know the little screen out there to the running back for the lineman pulled. You busted that play up in the last drive. That was a play that gashed y'all a few times. What was the key to making those adjustments, and how big do you think that was in the victory?
Sure, it wasn't really no big thing to it. It's just really just doing your job, and then that's what the adjustment was going into the game. Going into the second half, we knew that we had to tackle better and just communicate better as a defense. And once we know that if we do that, nobody can mess with us.
Jaden, go ahead.
Yeah, Sean, I know you haven't watched the film, so this is purely like a gut reaction. But where do you think this defense is right now, and where do you think it can be as the season progresses?
As the season progresses, we're going to be we know that we can be one of the best defenses in the nation, and what we just put out there, we know that's not who we are, and we know that when we come back and we got what we put out there, we got to eat that on Sunday. You know what I mean? That's our brand of work, and we know that's not how we play football as NC State Wolfpack, and we know that when we come in on Monday, right, we got to be ready to work.
Sean, thanks for joining us today.
Yep.
All right, our final player is going to be Hollywood Smothers. He's headed up right now.
Hollywood Smothers. You did great, bro. You did great.
Hollywood, thanks for joining us. Noah, go ahead with your question.
Oh, in the first half, you only had 25 rushing yards. In the second half, 115 on 12 carries. What was the biggest difference for you in the second half, and how much do you kind of just enjoy kind of being able to put the offense on your back a little bit and just run like that?
I just say I think the offensive line just got more comfortable. Just got more understanding of who they were going to, and just being out there, they got a feel for it. So them guys up front just got the job done, opened up holes for me, gave me some space to work, and just took off from there.
Jaden, go ahead.
Obviously we just saw Sean come and pretend to give you a water bath. Just what's it like to play on a team that has so much fun and that's so supportive, regardless of what side of the ball they're on?
Just that just lets you know the locker room we got. Like I grew up with Sean Brown. Honestly, just everybody's here, just family, and we support each other. Like just coming out that second half, Sean Brown said, like you keep making plays, and I'm gonna get the defense together. Just the camaraderie of this team, just it's where it needs to be. And it wasn't how we liked it. It wasn't a pretty win, but it just shows the grit that we have and the love we have for each other to keep fighting.
Rob, go ahead.
Hollywood, obviously you ran a lot, but CJ had 2 touchdowns as well on the ground. When you have a quarterback that can expand in his game and run like CJ has, speak to how helpful that is for the offense and for you as a running back.
Yeah, the baby giraffe can run a little bit, but it's great to have him. Just he's a play. Everybody know like CJ's super talented. He can change the game many ways. He can beat you with his legs, beat you with his arms. So it's just great, having somebody like that they got a game plan for and watch out for. It just make my job 10 times easier. And I want to shout out his leadership even more. Just he was a big differential in that second half in the locker room, just talking to us and bringing the energy.
Noah, go ahead.
Hollywood, how much have you fed off of the last 6 games last year, kind of going into this year? You seem like you hit your stride in those last 6 games. How much of those carried over into this season?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Yeah, how much of the last 6 games from last season, how much did those help kind of carry over into this year with you being the top back going at the start of the season?
Not much changed for me. I want to say like my preparation stayed the same, my hunger stayed the same. Just trusting the process, just knowing it comes with ups and downs. A lot come with it, a lot don't. Just trusting the process. I don't just stand faithful, like trusting God. Like God's with me in every battle. So just I just go day by day and just work in the locker room and just spread that belief out throughout the locker room. And it's been easy for me, just coming up with a plan and like I say, just trusting the process.
And JC will have the last question.
What is it like when you have that adrenaline of getting carry after carry after carry and you see your offensive line opening up holes?
I'm just, I want the ball. So that's what I be telling them. It's just, my offensive coordinator trusts me, the team trusts me to run the ball. So, and just doing whatever I needed to do to win. God made that happen for us. And like I say, just doing whatever I needed to do to put us in our best situation. And the guys up front made it easier for me.
Hollywood, thanks for joining us today.
Man, thank y'all. Blessings.
And that concludes NC State's post-game press conference.